and welcome back to Oakley Hour, and today we are starting a new build. We are doing the mechanical music box. This is a build that I have done previously, but it was done by Roker, same name, Starry Nights, but it got broke twice in the move, so I ended up just throwing it away. So I'm hoping that this time we have success and that it works just fine. I mean, it kind of worked. It didn't really even work well when I did it before, so I'm hoping that my skill set maybe has got a little better. Anyway, I'm sure if there are errors, I put things on wrong, upside down, things like that, you're going to see them. So do follow along. I look forward to seeing you in a moment while I get some pieces out ready to go. Right, so let's get this unboxed. Find a good spot. Okay, alright, let's go. Okay, down here. So, the box is a box. It really saves information on the back of the warnings and things like that. It's proper size in another one. I haven't done this one either. And I'm sure that was also done by Roker. Interesting. Okay, so what do we have? Let's see, which way does it open? Well, the challenge is real, guys. There we go. Alright, what do we have? Okay, so we have our stars, or planets. We have some metal pieces. Have the token screwdriver. Have a wind up, so we've got something going on. And I think this one moves as well as plays music, I think. This is parts, maybe? Not 100% sure what this is. It's kind of kept separate. This will be our main boards, and then we have our music box. So let's see what our boards are like. Let's put that away. Get rid of the plastic. Let's see if I can open this without going through anything. So like I say, I've kind of done one of these, that's our sandpaper. I've kind of done one of these before, and it was a Roker. It had the same name. I can't remember what the instructions were like, whether this is the same. So we have, is it 5 steps? It is 5 steps. So we have a parts list at the top here. This is the accessories list, so what was in that bag. And then the instructions go, this one's in Chinese or Japanese. This is in English. So probably what I will do on this one, if I recall rightly, because it's been a little while, like I say, since I've done this, like years, is if it's making sure it's in the right place, I might be able to glue some of this together, because if I recall before, it didn't glue well. So this is part A. It's coming in order. This is what we like to see. B, and then we have C here, their name on. Interesting. So very interesting. And then board C. I like the fact it's got a great big C on here as well. Make sure that you know, even though then that one's B and that's D. Okay, alright, this one's a mixed board then. And then we have the last one, which is upside down, which is E's. Basically, this looks like it's going to be some sort of tool that we will be making. So let's get things together and pour the first pieces. So anything like this would need sanding down. I won't be using the sanding paper. I use a sanding stick if you've seen any of my others. So I will be doing that. And let's pour the first few pieces and see where we go. Alrighty, so the first step is to put our music box on. We have to make sure that we know which way is the arrow, because this is the way it's going to sit. So let's line this up. It actually comes with quite a few screws. Also comes with a waxing stick, so we definitely got something moving on here, which is kind of cool. Like I say, I made this before and it didn't bode well, so I'm hoping second time's a charm, because I don't like losing a model, and I did have to throw it out. It had seen its day. Just make sure it's lined up well, so don't tighten that as much as I did. There we go, because that was not lined up at all. And then get these in. So we're all starting from this end for sure. Okay, get that in, and then we tighten them down. And you can also, if you like, colour that end. So I don't have a brown this colour, so it's not something I can do. And probably if you wanted to give it a little bit of colour going on, it's something you could do as well. Alright, so we have to put the big one in here, up this way round. Okay, and have it pointed inwards. It's very loose. This is what worries me. And then this one, A5, and point it inwards again, and this goes in both these sides, just the two sides. I need another one of these, and it goes all the way down, I believe. Well, it's not going to want to go all the way down. Let's just make sure we've got this the right way around now. Normally the arrow has this one, so maybe I had that wrong. Oh, sorry, okay, so you want the smaller ones by where it faces the arrow, and that's nowhere near so loose. So glad I didn't put it. And then this one does go all the way in. And then the same with this one. And then let me grab another A3. There were only two, so that's the second one that we need. And dropped her board on my desk, and she's had lots of playtime today. So a little walk and playtime, and this one goes in here. Okay, so the smaller one by the arrow, one opposite, and then the bigger ones in here, and push them all the way up, and then this will go into A6, matching up, I would imagine, the arrows. Yes. And so we'll go this way. So that will go in here, that will go in there. And this will go in here. Got a hair. Probably one of mine. Didn't look like a dog one. And this goes in further than I'm trying to get it right now. Okay, just make sure it's all lined up before pushing it home. So that one's in. This one's on being a bit stubborn. Checking my arrows again. Okay, it should be going. Sounds a little bit on the tight side. Put the others in. Well, we want it to be tight. Definitely saves the glue. No good pressing down on this, isn't it? Almost there. There we go. And And this one needs to go in more. So does this one. This one's actually come out the top. Okay. Do that then. How funny. And that one was in there originally. And then all of a sudden it said no. There we go. Alright. And that is gone. And then we are going to secure it with these two A7, which are going to go, looks like just in here. So I'm going to again try to, well, it's falling, should that come right. It's where the arrow is. I don't think it's right, I think it's here. I'm pretty sure it's here. So we want it with the bigger end up. I think this is to hold it in place. So another hair. Right, and then push it over basically to secure it in. I'm going to break it and I had a crack then. And then the same with this side down here. I didn't want any numbers showing on the outside. I wonder if I can get that out. Or I'm trying to avoid it. I mean, it doesn't say to do that, but it seems a bit logical, doesn't it? It wasn't broken. I thought I heard a crack, but I guess not. Maybe it was just this being pushed in. Okay, and that's all done. So next we are going to put it onto another platform, and we are going to put in the wind of it. And so again, making sure your arrows are all lined up. You should be able to just push these in. You should, famous last words, but they should all line up. A sandwich of them. This one's not 100% lined up there. Everything else is. Let's get a little hook. I made it last time. I didn't have any tools really. Now I've got so many tools. It should be bloody perfect. And just make sure it's all the way down as far as you can, like so, and then we put the wand on. It's weird that it's not lining up the circle, isn't it? I think it's weird, but if that's the way they want it. Now I'm going to check my arrows again. Yep. Okay, this one's not 100% in. And what's this one? It's because I couldn't get this on. So now I got sidetracked on to make sure everything's in right. This was the one I was tight last time. Okay, now I can see them on the bottom here. Alright, back to playing with this, and then I'll go and pull small pieces. And this is step one, by the way, so we would have completed step one. I can never work out which way round. I'm sure it's meant to be going the way I'm trying to go to it. Right, let me not waste your time and just get that done. Alright, that's it. That's step one complete. So, how far we got, shall we? Only come in wood colour, by the way, so it's up to you whether you colour them or not. I have done so these are the next lot of pieces. So I haven't done much colour, but I have done a little. Always be aware of which way the arrows. So I painted the stars yellow, and I painted the accordion pieces red. Now go very careful with the accordion pieces because they do break incredibly easy. So step one, it says we have to make two. So step one is to put it through the base like so, having it kind of face me so I know which way it's going. Just want to make sure that this is going to be on the outside too. I think it is. Point up that way. That's how it's going to be in the thing. So this goes in here, followed by a star. Nope, 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 nope. Take that back. Followed by followed by a star. I wasn't lying. Go, just like I say, just go careful with the accordion pieces. And this doesn't overly want to go in, so I've only painted it red on one side, so I'm hoping that that works. And then this piece will go in here, making sure that the arrows are pointing the same way. This will go in here. We should be able to square it all up. Went in there quite loose, but it is in, the arrows are the same way, which means there's a tab here, and that's the opposite of this tab here. Okay, then do the same again. So this time I'm just gonna do it this way, put it in there first, making sure the arrows are the same way. Dang it. Maybe I should paint this red. I'm going to end up with mark all over me. Probably should have done both sides anyway, right? That's what I'm going with. I kind of did them on different sides. Just think it gives it a little bit more, I don't know, brightness. When I used to want to colour things in, like a lot of the Roker Fairground stuff didn't come coloured. Well, some of it did and some didn't. But when I think they did a Mark II of a lot of them, which then they came with colours. But I used to use paints, and I wouldn't say that I'm great at painting. Fruit fly dive on me here. Okay, so put that in there. And put that on. Then we're going to put this to one side and a star on top. So I did colour the edges yellow as well, but I don't think that's going to show anyway, and I think it would need more than one coat, so just make sure that's pushed all the way down. This one's quite loose. But don't put any pressure onto the accordion pieces. So this one sticks up on here, and this one does not. There we go. Alright, so we did two of those, and then we go to the next one, which again, I've done a little bit of red here. We have some stars, which I didn't bother to do the sides. Okay, this midgy thing is going to get killed. So for this, you have two of these, like so, and that's our arrows, so make sure we know which way the arrow is going. Make sure that goes all the way in too. I think I'm wearing half the marker. Okay, so we'll put all of these in ready and have them all facing the right way, ready to go. So then hopefully I shouldn't mess up. Huh. You never know. I hope you're enjoying all these, all the builds and that sort of thing. There's quite a lot that goes on, doesn't there, really? And I know sometimes, you know, you can watch them and they zoom through, and obviously that's not the way that I do in this channel. Right, okay, so then we will have the arrows, which is here, facing the same way. So we want that one to go in here, and this one to go in here. And push those down. carefully your accordion, and then followed by your little stars. And this will be, is this step 2 complete? Nope, it's not. We will need the musical box bit back. So again, make sure our arrows are all pointing the same way. And then followed by our stars. Maybe I should have painted these little ends yellow too. I don't know if it matters in the scheme of things. Alright, and now we are going to put them on here. So we will be putting a single one on near this arrow. So the arrow on here will have a single. And it is 2 layered, so you've got a layer here and also back here, and that's the same inside the hole. You've got one inside the other, so just go careful like that. Alright then, okay, and then we will do the same in this one, and then I'll get that repaired. So on the corners is obviously a place for the accordion piece to go in, which I didn't see. We will get it fixed, it's not a big deal. These actually feel quite loose, but I'm assuming they're going to have a top to them. So I was pushing down on it to make sure it was all the way down, but the accordion pieces weren't in the ends, so it kind of chipped them off. See, go careful about the accordion pieces, I say. This one's not all the way down, and that one's come apart as well. Right, and then the last one, and then we get that other repaired. What I'm going to do is glue them in. I mean, these are not working pieces, so it's not too much of a big deal. You could see that coming, couldn't you? You know what it's like, Julie. You say, hey, go careful of something because it could break. It's exactly the time that it will break. Okay, so let's grab some wood glue and we'll get these in here. So these, looking at the other end, are the bigger side, this one down. So, like so. I'm in 2 minds whether I want to put glue at the top there or not. Couldn't we? Put a little bit here, and hopefully they're on the right way, because I couldn't swear to it. Actually, it'd have to be this way, wouldn't I? See, another piece just broke off then. I should have not have bothered. Okay, this is a small problem. Small problems can be fixed. Most things can be fixed, really. Oh, wait, let me get those tweezers. Okay, right, next is, once those are in, we have to get B3, which is over here. So let me grab that, I didn't get that out ready. So let me just sand that down, and this will secure it all in place, she says. So it's got an arrow on it like the others. So we just wanted to be incredibly careful with the accordion pieces. And then this should, as I say, the accordion pieces probably didn't really need gluing in at the top at all. Okay, that one was in. Just ease it in there, should be okay. Every time I hear a noise, it's like, oh, makes me nervous. It's just going to have a little bit of a weird side, I think, that one. Maybe that one too. Okay, almost there. Just ease it on. And there you have it, nothing to it. You wouldn't know, would you? Or maybe if it was so crooked like this, you might know a little that something went wrong. Don't think I'm going to be able to do much about that. And I think the piece went inside too. That's not ideal, is it? It says it's all the way down. But it's like it's got holes for these ones and they're not there. But there's nothing else to push in either. Weird. Okay. You will assume that that is how it was meant to go. I can hear that piece in there. But there's one unit now that's probably not coming out. Alright, so that's done, and that takes us on to step 3. And I will go and grab the pieces. Pour. Alright, so step 3 is we are doing more of these, and when I was looking at these we actually have spares, so after me doing the repair I didn't really need to, but hey, what do you do? Pay attention to where the arrow says it says. So C12, and they're all labelled right here, so you can see that they're labelled. So C12 is the one that goes by the arrow. I don't think that's right. Okay, good that it doesn't label it. Yeah, it does. C12. I'm being dippy. So again, we need to make sure that these are bent and in spots. So again, I coloured the accordion pieces. But we only had one spare, I think, of each, but I didn't really need to repair that one. I could have just replaced it, which is rather handy to know. I think I have a spare of this one too. Not that that's a reason to go Hail Mary on it and throw it together. Be careful with your accordion pieces as always. Okay, that is in. Shouldn't, I'm sure, have taken that long. And then we are going to do this C4, which is this one, and this has the accordion piece in the middle, which is actually a bit easier to put in than the end ones, I say. I haven't got it in yet. Wait till you got it. No, it wasn't so easy. It is a small crack, so I'm not going to worry too much. I could go and get another piece, but I think it'd be fine. And then on the other side will be another long one. We will have a C3. Let's see if I can get this one right. this one in here. I'll put my accordion pieces in first, she says. Okay. And lastly, C12. Which is the one that I found a bit harder before, with the 2 accordion pieces on the ends. That one's in. And that one totally broke. Will it be okay? We will see. Or should I get another one? That's the question. Are we going to be alright? You get one end in, the other end pops out. Is it going to be alright? And what do we think? I think it probably will. Okay, and then you're going to turn this upside down and make sure your arrows all match. This will go in here. I can see this being a bit of a nightmare to line up, but we will see. Because it does have, where I was thinking it had some gaps and things like that, it does, but it's not it's for this. So just trying to ease it in without it being too messy. Okay, that side's in. And just get my little hook here. Not much room to manoeuvre here. A little bit. Not enough, clearly. Kind of a bit difficult to get at too. Okay, I think we got there. Make sure your accordion pieces are going in okay. Alright, this one needs to go down a bit more. I'm just going round now to make sure they all look okay and look like they are in. Which they do, and that's what we have, so I'm quite glad that I coloured it. Alright, next we are going to put in a little plastic piece, and there's no right or wrong way. Doesn't say it needs greasing or anything, it just goes on the spindle. Okay. Or if there are instructions, it's not in English, so we will have to go with this. And then next we have this piece, and it does have an arrow again, so it's going to go like that. And the only bits that match up are these top ones. Alright, those are all in. Next, for stage 3, we are going to be putting in a long piece, which is going to go, let's see, the arrow's here, so the smaller piece is going to go where this is, and it's going to go up this way, and it's going to go in here by the arrow. She's dreaming. If you can hear that, she was making noises, but she's just dreaming. And then next to it will be it says 3 of these, so I didn't paint that one, so I'm just painting them to go outside. So one evidently goes in here. I can get that in. Would have been easier probably to have put those in before I put it on the model. There's one. Says there's 3. 1. And the big piece, this piece here, will go opposite, so it's going to go over here facing outwards, so the bend goes outwards. So make sure that's in, and that has a star either side of it. So again, just making sure that my coloured one is pointing outwards, although I could have probably coloured it both sides. And here, I don't know why this one has 2, it seems off symmetry to me. Okay, that is done, my friends. So keep hold of this piece, I'm sure we may or may not need it. Next we are going to, step 4, which is over here. So I'm making quite good ground here. There's only actually 10 steps. I finally looked it up last night. So we are starting with our circle, C8, which we are going to need to wax. So I will put that done. And we are going to put this in with some screws. So do I need that waxed, or is it? It's just the edges that need wax. So I'm going to put this in and then worry about the wax in a moment, because I know that there's more than one piece in this part that needs it. So just screw that in, make sure it lines up, and it screws in from the bottom. So like so. This will rotate, which is why it needs waxing. It's a very plain piece, this one. And then I'll grab my wax, because the next piece is the other big piece, this one, and that needs waxing all over, basically. So it's going to become more stinky again. Okay, let me go grab that one. I'm going to use some greaseproof paper as well to try and save my board a little bit, although it's got paint all over it now. Alright, so all I use is like a beeswax, but I'm sure you can use Vaseline or anything else really. So, it does stink. Okay, this brush is, probably should have got a new one, but I didn't. So just make sure that when you wax these pieces, you wax them well. So I'm going to do that rest of that in a bit. This one you need to do all over. So just make sure you get it everywhere. Have a stink of this stuff anyway, right? And then I'll go back to doing that cog in a minute. So it says everywhere, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. It just says it needs waxing, it doesn't say hey do it everywhere, but it certainly shows you to do it on the surface. So, and for all I know, it could just be the other surface. Probably is. Well, it's going to have it on all of it now, because that's where I'm rolling. I mean, it's not going to hurt it, let's put it that way. Right, use this big blob to go back to my wheel. Right, let me get that done, you don't want to watch that. Alright, all waxed. So, they do provide, excuse me, it's got down my chest, it's like a Vicks, if you've ever used that. But anyway, They do provide sticks which don't have smell to them, which work really well as well. And however, yeah, it's not that suitable. Okay, so then we have these ones, and they're going to go on with the longer sides, not the little ones, into here in 3 spots, making sure it's the right way up. And once I can get them in there, went straight in when I lifted it up. Guess I should have done that. I was thinking it would be easier if it was flat, but obviously not. Just make sure they're all in proper all the way down. But yeah, they do provide sticks, and the only reason I don't use the sticks, and they do work really well by the way guys, is they make quite a bit of mess, and you end up with little bits of wax all over the show. But they do work well, so I've got nothing overly against them other than they're messy, and I've bought wax in order to combat that, because quite often when they were providing sticks it wasn't enough for builds anyway, so it often needed more. And it's always pretty much, well, I've never known it not to be better to put more on than less. So next we are going to put this on with the, which side up? Let me read my instructions. I always forget by the time I get to know what instructions, what side they're meant to be up. Okay, so it's the colourful part on the top, and it is, this hole I believe is meant to marry up to this one, so we want to make sure that it's like this stinky thing. I'm going to complain about smell now forever. Watched a TV show last night, and the guy said, it was just a contestant, it was a game show, and just said that he'd met Brad Pitt and that he smelled. One thing to say on national TV. Now I've just gone and repeated it to you guys, but you know, my audience isn't quite the same as national TV. I just think it was quite funny. And then we're going to make this piece up. So we want to make sure that the prongs are facing like this and this, and then the other one, make sure the prongs so it looks like this, and we'll be using this in the next part, which actually it's all the same part, but we will be using some other bits and pieces here, including a bead and a gosh, like steel pipe thing. What are they called? Can't remember. The name's gone. Okay, so they are going to go in here. Nope, they're going to go in here. I lied totally. So first of all, you are going to put the end in here, and it says to use this tool. If I can get that far. Just to press it in. Let's get these out of the way. There we go, like so. And then followed by, let's see. So they say these are quite loose, so if you want to put they provided tape, if you want to put tape in, it's loose in the bauble basically. If you want to put tape in, then they recommend that. And again, they recommend you doing this with the tool. I should go and wash my hands, they're very waxy. So tight fit. Just make sure that goes all the way down, which it is, and flat. And then you put this on, and you can see that this is, and it goes all the way down, I believe, and it does have an extra hole in it from what I can gather. Gosh, let me see if I can even see that. well, hold on, let me see. So I actually cannot see what they're talking about. I kind of thought that maybe this little tiny, you're not even going to see this, but there's like a tiny scuff maybe on the top there next to the hole. Maybe that's it, and in which case then it goes down, so we're going to assume that's what it is. So this is quite loose, and they recommend, like I say, that you put tape around the shaft and then push it on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a bit of I think super glue, to be honest with you, just to make sure it stays on here. And now I'm going to forget which side that shaft is on, so it's not meant to facing down. The colours can match. You can put in whatever colour you want. It's very difficult for me to see what that hole is that they're talking about, to be honest with you. Whoops, way too much. Well, hopefully it's not a piece that needs overly moving. Now let me see if I can find the scuffed area again. I just don't see it. I mean, I'm sure it's here. Possibly here. And then just hold that in place for a second. And as I probably stick to it. Need something in here, don't I? And then so it says you can put any colour bead. This one's a 1 centimetre one, and it's meant to be 1 centimetre or 10 millimetres. And then if it's loose, then you take a strip of the paper that they did provide and you wrap it around the spindle so it becomes tight. So one way or another, it's going to go in here, and then remove any glue residue, it says. So even though it said about using tape, maybe they mean tape. Alright, and I'm going to give that a second to make sure all that super glue's dry, because I don't want it getting stuck on anything else I'm doing, and go and get all those wax off my hands. Alright, let's have a moment to sit. So next what we are going to do is push this piece in. We have to, before we put it in, so I have marked these because it's A, B and C, so you want A to be on top with the pattern side upwards, so that goes all the way down. All the way down, it says. How far's all the way down? I think this is it, followed by this. That's not in. Makes me think it should be further. So A is there, and then B will go next. So hold it in place. Picture side that way. How's this going in? Like that. Alright, followed by C. Just trying to double check myself here. Well, I might want to put that up. Oh, that's the wrong way on. So you want the bead facing upwards. See, it makes me really want to put it on there, but I don't think you're meant to. Right, B. And C. Okay, and they'll go that way on. And then these do not go in here yet. Then we have to wax another piece. And that just just goes on here. This is right. It's as far as it goes. So we have to wax this piece. Oops. For the entirety, it says, all of it. So let me get that done. On both sides, I guess, and also the teeth. So make sure you get inside the heel. And then here, I'm glad I just washed my hands of this stuff. Should have thought about that, huh? Alright, I will get and do that. Alright, done. And then we push the bottom of this into here. Okay. And then into here, making sure that this piece is opposite to the hole, which is there. So this goes in then like so. I don't think there's an easy way to do this. I think it's just do the best you can. Just make sure it's all the way in. These really don't want to stay there. And opposite the hole. Which is going to be interesting. How does that happen? When there's no hole in the bottom here. Oh, I see there is. Little one there. Huh. I don't know the answer to this. It kind of just sits there. I'm sure it shouldn't. Maybe it'll push these out when it's on or something. Let me give this a struggle and we'll have a look. Right, all it was I had, that should be the hole showing, and the flat part of this is inside. Let me see if I can show you. Opposite way. It's inside there. So I had this on the wrong way, in which case then we should be able to just push this in. Make sure it's opposite to there. Had to go all the way back and look at the instructions again, and then it fits in just fine. But nothing's keeping this up, so this doesn't make an awful lot of sense to me as to how this stays up. And I can't get that up anymore, and it looks like that's how it is meant to be. That we've got the two notches at the top. So I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't stay in. Do you reckon we're meant to glue it? Everything's wax. Colour bead goes there. This bit's fine. So it's this bit that wants to keep moving down. I think what I'm going to do is pop a bit of glue on here to keep this in place. I'm trying to push it up as far as I can. But it's just too big to go on there. So let me pop a bit of glue on the bottom. I think just to keep it in spot. This glue is from another build entirely. And because I had run out of the power gel, I have it now, but I had run out. So I'm going to do that, then I'm going to put this in, and then we're going to call it a day for today. So put this back on here and give that a second. Right, literally gave it a second. Let's put that in again. So like I say, you got the hole here, you just need the bead to be on the opposite side, like so. And that is it. So for today, let's get this paper. We have this. Alright, so we will be working more on this on step 5. So we got up to step 4 today. It's looking alright. I mean, it's definitely holding together quite well. I mean, even with the little bit of issues on the accordion pieces, it's fine. So do please remember to like and subscribe. Any comments are very welcome, and I will get back to you. And most of all, do take care of yourselves. Take care, guys. Bye.